Hey guys, I'm gonna start it off just by saying the typical like, comment, subscribe thing. I'm trying to get to a point where I can actually be monetized on YouTube. So if you do those things, it'll help me. And then that'll help me buy car parts. And then more car parts means more videos. Although my editing sucks, but we're still gonna start throwing this at the beginning of videos. So yeah, do those things. Thanks. Alright, so we're gonna start off new way now. Well, with a new project. Obviously, as you can see, we bought a school bus. My wife has named it Voldemort because it has a no nose. Anyways, it is a 40-foot international, 87 passenger, I believe it was. I don't even remember what engine's in it, but it's a big diesel Cummins 6-speed with the 6th gear unlocked. And there's a ton of stuff to go over about it, but the first thing to talk about is, obviously because we've purchased the bus, it's very big. We can't hide inside my shop anymore, so people are going to be able to tell where I live now, and I don't want people coming to my house. We had a big problem with that in Pasco, and we've moved, and like, I put a towel over my mailbox trying to hide the address, but just don't come here unless I give you my address, you know? Just expect my privacy, please. Anyways, enough with the doom and gloom. 40 foot. So it was already gutted inside whenever we got it. The floor has quite a bit of surface rust. I think it's because whenever the previous owner had it, they gutted all this stuff, and I think they left the windows open and it just got rained in. Last time this bus was registered was in 2018. So it hasn't been sitting that long, but as you can see, we got some holes. I did go underneath the bus everywhere, and I checked everything's, you know, the structure's there, it's just that ugly sheet metal's, you know, ugly sheet metal. So yeah, as you can see on the time lapse that I'm gonna put up in a second, I already went through. We did all the wiring. I just kind of taped it up out of the way. It was real bad over here in the corner. I think I have a clip of that. My wife, who is behind the camera right now, she went through and just kind of emptied everything out, got it all cleaned up, swept, so that we can prep for OSPO. So we're gonna treat the surface with the OSPO. Then we're gonna plug all the holes that we can. And I already went ahead because I had time on the weekend. I cut all this plywood. It does all fit down in. We're gonna bolt it all down. So that's probably all we'll get to. It's 100 in here. It was 115 when I came out today. So we're not doing long bursts. But yeah, let's throw a time lapse up. Alright, as you can tell from the time lapse, we also put the floors in there. We didn't really talk about what we're doing with the bus. It's going to be a mobile bookstore. So it's something my wife is very passionate about, and it's something that I think is a really cool project, and I feel like it'd be a lot of fun, and you know, I like to succeed and stuff. So we're going to succeed at this too. I did go inside and find the books. They came with all of this stuff whenever I bought it. And it's like maintenance records, or not maintenance records, but just service manuals for the engine, And then there's electrical diagrams for the engine, and then there's another one back here for the chassis. This guy was sorry, this guy was crazy. Like, he did all these invoices of having it checked, and all the maintenance records are here. There's thousands and thousands of dollars. Obviously, now that I know more about it, it's this like what that one say? The DT466E diesel engines. So it's an 03. I don't know much about them. I have a friend, he's gonna come over and help me out with it. I don't know if we're gonna video that. We'll see what he thinks. We did stop and pick up solar panels. So this is gonna be another fun project too, but we're gonna do just a standalone video on that because it's gonna be a lot of learning. A lot of stuff that I don't even know yet. Back here, like I said, I don't know much about them, but my flashlight turned on. It's a lot bigger engine than what was in the Miata there. So, and then this is kind of cool. If you come in here, you can actually start it by this right there. And then you can stop it there, and there's oil pressure. I didn't know that was a thing. It's really cool. You know, I can stand in here. So, we might try and turn that into a bathroom. There's a lot of space in there. On this side, I already had all this open for the video's sake. You know, it's just typical engine stuff, your air filter. The turbo up in there is actually smaller than what's on the Miata, but it is a true Garrett, so that's a plus side, I guess. I drove this home about 40 miles, give or take, and it drove fine. I had no issues with it whatsoever. It made plenty of boost, and I actually kind of made a mistake where when you're driving something new, I got strong arm on the steering wheel, and after about 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so, I was exhausted and sweating because there was no air conditioning, hence the solar panels. That's gonna be a project. But then I was going down the highway and I was just kind of let go of the wheel. I was like, wow, this thing drives amazing. I don't have to even hold it at all. So I'll throw a couple clips of that up real quick, and then we'll get on to the next project. Alright, so since we left off in time lapses you're going to see in a minute, we OSFO'd the floor, we washed it because that's what the directions said to do. After that we did 2 coats of a sealer, and then this plywood, which is a thermal. I don't know how much good it's going to actually do, but it has this like reflective metal stuff on one side. We face the metal side down, that way it does its insulation properties. At some point we're gonna spray foam from the bottom side, so we're not really focusing on that. I don't want to lose the headroom doing insulation inside. We started building out the 2x4s, well 2x3s, for the fake wall that's gonna go up. My wife has been packing the walls, well, the whole family has, with this sound thermal stuff. Some people said not to use this because of condensation. I'm not really worried about it because this bus is going to have its own power grid, and it's going to have its own air conditioning, and being books, we're going to keep it humidity controlled at all times. So from the inside, it's not really going to condensate because we're going to keep the humidity level at a specific setting. We're going to lay real thin plywood up against this. It's like a 1/16 of an inch thick, and that's going to create a faux wall the length of the bus, or a fictitious, whatever you want to call it. We're going to stuff it the rest of the way with this as well. Another time lapse we went ahead, already cut all the shelving, so the fake wall will go up, and then this will go up right after that, and then I think we'll do another update. Been working. All right, so since the last update, as you can see, we've done quite a lot. We got the fake wall, I guess on this side you can see better, and then the insulation down in there, so it helps a little bit, not a whole lot because the roof is still not insulated. My wife went through and she got all of our shelving braces mounted, and all the plywood down. So the shelves on this side are done, other than we're gonna do like a fake wall here with a design in it with like the types of books maybe that are for those spaces. While she did all this, I cut apart back here. We welded 2 more tubes in to reinforce the 2 tubes that I cut out. I have a bar down there that actually runs down to the frame rail that they didn't do from the factory. I'm gonna make that bolt in so that we can get the head in and out without having to cut a bar, if that ever happens. My frame, it's all welded in place. It sucked to weld because this stuff's all galvanized, and that is poisonous whenever you weld it, if you didn't know that. So 100-degree weather, welding with an extension cord, that was fun. On a 15 amp breaker, we're like a 70-foot extension cord or 100-foot extension cord. So it just kept tripping the breaker. And then I realized that this bar is 1 inch too tall. So from this point to this point, it kind of does a little upward motion, but this is just a bathroom. I don't care. We got some bent sheet aluminum that I did at work. We'll show you in the next video, so we'll talk about that then. And then I started working on solar stuff. Oh yeah, the mini split. So I went ahead and I got the mini split head mounted. I was a little disappointed because the one that I ordered didn't come with pre-filled lines. So I have to do that as well. I think we're gonna do a 50-foot line and then mount it like up behind the driver. That way all of the heat producing items are on that side of the bus and all of the sail type items are on that side of the bus. So it's like cool zone, hot zone, and it'll be nice for everyone. But I think I've rambled enough for this one, so we're probably gonna wrap it up here. And then whenever we come back in the next video, I'm not quite sure what we'll be doing. It might be bus stuff, it might be Miata stuff.